welcome to episode 38 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. I'm Amy Kate, a young but passionate knitter and crocheter. You can find all of the links to my various social media platforms in the description box below, so be sure to check those out. And you will also be able to find a link to my show notes for this episode and most previous episodes. I haven't had my blog for as long as I've had my YouTube channel, so not all of the episodes, but a very good portion of the episodes. You can find show notes over on my blog, which will be linked down below. So if you have any other questions or want some more details about any of the things that I'm about to talk about today, you can check those things out. And I'm also going to have links to the products that I talk about and those sort of things. Of course, if you have any other questions that you just can't find an answer to, don't hesitate to reach out to me in the comments below or on any of my other social media platforms or email. So email is something that I don't often mention, but if there is anything that you want to share with me or ask me about that's a little bit too detailed for a YouTube comment, collaboration for designing, anything like that, you can email me at thegracefultangle@gmail.com, and that's down below as well if you want to see it written out in word form. But yeah, don't hesitate to shoot me an email. I get some every now and then, and it's just, I love going through and reading all of your sweet messages. It means so much. So I have so many things to talk about today. I have quite a few finished objects. I got a lot of making done this week, which feels really good. I honestly wasn't expecting to, and then it kind of, I had like specific goals that I knew I needed to accomplish, and then also I just finally got rolling on a new design that I've been dreaming about for so long, and I finally made enough progress on it today to be able, not today, but recently, to be able to share with you guys, and I'm really excited about it. So we're going to hop right into it today with some finished objects. Alrighty, so I have multiple finished objects to talk about this week. Pretty much all the whips I showed last week are now done. Before we hop into that though, I wanted to talk about briefly the sweater that I am wearing. This is the Weekender sweater. I finished it just last week. It was my Make 30 for 30 project. The majority of it, I guess. Of course, I've worked on other things now because the challenge is almost over, but not quite over. But anyway, so this was the main thing that I wanted to get done doing Make 30 for 30, which is a very loose cowl, or make along, hosted by Natalie of the 11 Stitches podcast and Nitty Natty on Instagram. I'm always inspired by her and I love seeing what she does. And so this was a little cowl that she hosted during January, and I chose to work on this sweater for the majority of it, and it is now done. I shared it last week, but I was not wearing it, and so I thought I would just stand up real quick and show it to you guys. I love it so much. I love the split hem, the ribbing. The sleeves are really long. I didn't intentionally make them this long, but I actually really like the way that they look cuffed, and I don't have a knit sweater that the sleeves are actually long enough to do that with. Usually I just, make them as long as they need to be as long for my arms, but then I just finish off. So I really like being able to fold them up. And then this, of course, drop shoulder detail is my absolute favorite. I just love the drop shoulder construction and look. I love the way it looks on me. I love the way it fits. It's amazing. I really love this sweater, and I am just fully enjoying wearing it today. So that is that. Now, the first finished object I wanted to talk about is a pair of socks. So I actually have two pairs of socks, and you're just going to have to excuse me because I only have one pair of sock blockers that are in my size. I have three pairs, a small, medium, and large. They're all from Knit Picks. I love them. They're amazing. Really glad that I have all three sizes because I need them for my family. Like if I make all my family socks, they're all different sizes. But I'm a size small and only have one pair. So anyway, the first pair of socks that I finished are these socks, which are my Tale of Three Brothers socks, which is a pattern by Julie of Twin Stitches Designs. I test knit these for her, and I got one done. I have no idea which one it was now. Maybe this one? I have no idea. but anyway, I tested one for her during the duration of that test, and then, posted about it and finished all of that up. And then I went ahead and finished up the second one this past week, which was so much fun. I absolutely love these. I actually have not worn them yet. I just realized that as I'm sitting here, I haven't worn these yet. I finished them a few days ago. I'll just say I was intentionally saving them to share with you guys. I totally was. I don't know. I probably would have worn them if I had remembered. Anyway, really, really love these socks. They were so much fun to make. I used Knit Picks Stroll in the colorway Pumpkin. So it kind of just gets me ready for fall all over again. But it's so far away. So I'm just going to have to not rush the time on that front. But anyway, really, really love the way these turned out. I will actually take them off so that you can see the cables from the front. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. That was the blocker falling. Anyway, this is what the cables look like. I just love them. I love how the center cable is different and the other two are the same. I think originally in my mind I would picture like this cable, staying how it is, and then this one like spinning the opposite direction. But I kind of like that it doesn't do that. It provides a little bit of interest, and I really like it. And it, of course, made the pattern simpler to follow just because there's only one cable instead of two different ones. But anyway, really, really love these socks. I love how they turned out. I used one full skein of Knit Picks Stroll, which is kind of quite incredible because it's only 50 grams. So this is what one skein looks like. And I had about, trying to guess, it's a very, very small ball, probably about 10 yards of yarn left after one pair of socks, which would be about, one skein is 231 yards, so I probably used about 215 to 220 yards, and yeah, so that's pretty incredible that I can get a full pair of socks out of just 50 grams, and it is definitely something that I want to keep in my mind for the future, because yeah, I kind of like knowing things like that, and I'm glad that I do now because I hadn't done that before. But yeah, really, really love these. Now, of course, I did make the smallest size, and which is the 56 stitch count, by the way. And I have a size 5 women's foot. So my foot is short, my leg isn't super tall either. So, all of that kind of played into only using 50 grams. So take that into consideration, I guess. But if you are going to knit a pair of socks just like this, you will need 50 grams. Guess that's where I'm trying to go with that. But anyway, really love these socks, and I'm super happy with how they turned out. And now they can go in my drawer. I'm going to need to find like a really good way to organize knit socks. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments because I need to figure that out. I actually know, I know Amber from the Yarn Hoarder podcast, which I'm sure you've heard of her. She's amazing. I know, I think she uses like ornament organizers to put all of her knit socks in, and Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady might do that as well. I know she has. I've seen her bins, both of their bins before, and they look kind of similar, so I might need to look into that. I don't have anywhere near the amount of socks that those two amazing knitters have, but my collection is steadily growing, especially since I've been knitting so many socks, which I love. Wouldn't have it any other way. Alrighty, so I actually have another pair of socks to talk about as well, and I'm going to have to put them on the blockers here. So these socks are the first pair for my Box of Socks 2021. So I have set myself the goal this month. Wow, goodness, I can't talk today. I figured that out this morning, and it hasn't gotten much better. Anyway, so this is my first pair for my 2021 Box of Socks. This is my first year doing this challenge. And basically what I am just, the way that I'm kind of upholding this challenge is I'm going to be choosing a different pattern every single month. It's going to be like a pattern from an independent designer, not plain stockinette, I guess. A different pattern every month, and I might repeat patterns, but anyway, my goal is to choose a different pattern every month, and then a different yarn that kind of correlates to something going on during that month. So for this month, I chose this yarn, which is called Snow Day, and I'm going to talk more about that in just a second. But that kind of reminded me of January, even though here in Alabama we did not get snow in January by any means. We got sleet, which was surprising, but no snow. Anyway, so for February, I'm going to do a pink theme. For March, I might do green, something along the lines of green. So, I don't know. I have a couple plans in my mind, and I'm really excited to carry them throughout the year. I'm going to be knitting so many more pairs of socks than just 12, just one a month for sure. I mean, I knit 3 pairs of socks this month, which is pretty incredible. Not to boast or anything like that. I just mean, I'm not limiting myself to only one pair of socks a month. I just want one specific pair to be special, I guess, for a month. So, anyways, this is my January pair of socks. I used Ruby and Rose's yarn in the colorway Snow Day. This is a skein that I received as kind of payment for the All of the Lights cardigan that I sample knit for her late last year, which was super fun to be able to use this. Absolutely loved knitting with her yarn, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again. I have a little bit of collection now, and so I'm really excited to continue using it. And then I chose the Rye socks by Tin Can Knits, and I knit the 52 stitch size. So I think that might be the size below the women's small. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, and then I used a size 1 2.25 millimeter needles and did a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. So to be quite honest, I kind of just flew by the seat of my pants with these socks. I knit the pattern, but really all I did was take the stitch count from it and the like center garter stitch panel right here. I did my own toe. I did my own slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. So I don't know how much I actually followed the pattern, but it still counts. And I'm still really excited about these socks. And I love the way they look. Love, love, love this colorway. It's just absolutely beautiful. There's so many different colors, and it's all blue, and I love the way it looks on the blue sock blockers. Yep, I love them so much. So my plan is actually to not wear these because I want to have, I want to put them in a specific box along with the 11 other pairs that I'm going to make this year. We'll see. I haven't quite decided on that, but I have lots of other socks to wear, so I'm not really concerned about saving these. And I think it's going to be really special to be able to look back at the end of the year and, kind of remember this pair of socks and knitting them and all of that jazz. So, really, really love these. I actually knit the second sock. I started it on Thursday and finished it on Friday. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Then it started on Thursday, finished it on Friday, which is crazy. But, these socks, I mean, they only have 52 stitches. I'm not surprised I did that. I am really grateful because I wanted to share these with you guys on Saturday, and that's what I did. So, anyway, really, really love these socks. Highly recommend this pattern. Highly recommend checking out Addison's yarn. Really looking forward to those socks. And I have already chosen my February sock yarn and pattern, and I'm super excited to share that with you guys, but I'm gonna wait until next week. So I'm recording this on January 31st, and so I'm starting those socks tomorrow. I have the pattern all ready to go and printed. I just need to cake up the yarn, so really excited to get those started. I'm gonna be starting something else tomorrow as well, which I'm gonna talk about later, and I'm really excited about it. So anyways, my next finished object, I have one more to show you, I think. Yes, one more to show, and that is this beanie. So I test knit this beanie for, I'm going to try to pronounce her name, and I hope I don't completely butcher it. I think her name is Leilana, maybe? It's a beautiful name. It is so gorgeous. I am just not 100% sure how to pronounce it, and I've never heard it said. But anyway, I will link her Instagram account down below, so check her out if you haven't already. But this is a brand new beanie pattern that she has coming out very soon, and she asked me to test knit it, and of course I said yes. And it is so beautiful. I used Knit Picks Muse hand painted, which you guys know I absolutely love Knit Picks Muse And this is the colorway Savvy. So look at those crown decreases. I really, really love this beanie. I fully enjoyed knitting it. It is a good bit of purling. You can see all of the purl ridges here, and that is definitely purl. It's not knit inside out. I think that would be interesting if it was, but it's not for this pattern. And it was super simple to follow. Like, it's not difficult at all. It is just a good bit of purling. It's actually more purling than I've done. Like, I've never knit a hat, I guess, that had this much. And my hand was totally cramping up when I was nearing the end, so I had to take a little break for a day. But really, really love it. Be on the lookout for that pattern. And again, I will link her Instagram handle down below so that you can check her out and follow her over on there. So yeah, I think that is it for finished objects. I have a work in progress to show you, but I haven't even started it yet. I literally spent all week this week, minus, the insane amount of schoolwork, all of my knitting and crochet time, I guess is what I should say. Finishing up those projects and working on a couple new designs that I'm going to share a bit later. So yeah, I have one exciting work in progress though that I'm going to be starting tomorrow, and I wanted to go ahead and chat about it with you guys. So let's go ahead and hop into that. Alrighty, so I mentioned last week how I'm going to be starting the All of the Lights cardigan, which is a pattern by Hohi Locatelli. I have been dreaming about this cardigan since the day I saw it. I knew it was something that I would wear, every day, constantly. I love cardigans. I love the construction of this one. It's my favorite style. But I didn't know what yarn to use, and I didn't know for quite a while. However, last year I had the opportunity to sample knit for Sorella yarn, and I am so excited because my payment for doing that sample knit was the equivalent amount of yarn in whatever colorway and base I chose. So for one of those sample knits, I did two, and for one of them, I chose the yarn that I needed to make this cardigan, and it was originally, I actually wanted to make it last year. Like, I've had this yarn for a couple months now, but I've just been so bogged down with other things, and I'm just getting around to it. But I have the goal of knitting it this February. I am actually hoping to finish it this month as well, but we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna kind of play that by ear and see. It is a lot of knitting, and I realize that. So, and I have a bunch of other things going on, per usual. I kind of have the loose goal since I finished this sweater in January. I kind of have the loose goal now to knit a sweater a month as well. A sweater and a pair of socks and, everything else. But I'm not holding myself to that quite yet. I kind of want to see where this project goes for the first couple of weeks and just see if that's possible. Because it very well might not be. But either way, I am so excited to be starting this, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about my yarn and a couple of plans that I have, even though I haven't quite actually started it yet. So, the yarn I'm going to be using is Sorella yarn in two different colorways. The first is On the Trail. Both of these are from their Cozy collection that they launched last year. This is the colorway On the Trail. And it is a 100% superwash merino wool base. It's their classic sock is what they call it. And the tonality in this yarn is just absolutely gorgeous. It's like a sagey green gray, but then it also has like little peaks of lavender almost. It is so, so gorgeous. So this is what it looks like in the skein. This is what it looks like all caked up and ready to go. I love it so much. And then I'm going to be pairing that with this mohair, which is their color Knit Flicks. Look at this color. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. This is one of my all-time favorite colors. A grubby blush pink is just my favorite, and this comes so close. And then this is also one of my favorite colors. So, traditionally, I think what Hohi originally intended with this design, and what I've seen most other knitters make, is a pairing two, like a merino and either a lace weight or a fingering weight yarn that are similar in color, and being able to blend those together beautifully. Now, obviously, I'm not doing that. I am choosing two very different colors, but I think they're still going to blend together so beautifully, and I am so excited about it. I really wanted to make this a cardigan that I could wear with anything. You know, I really love the color gray and I wear it a lot. But the problem is I don't want another cardigan that's gray because I have gray shirts and, you know, neutral colored pants and some colored pants, but some neutral ones as well. And so I wanted to be able to knit a garment that is easy to throw on, easy to put on over a t-shirt or over a, you know, nicer shirt, long sleeve shirt, whatever the case may be, for a little bit pop of color if the rest of my outfit is neutral. So that's kind of what I'm going with for this color theme. I'm really, really excited about it. I actually have one other skein of Knitflix that is in this same base. So I'm kind of hoping that I have enough of this color left over so that I can do some like scrappy socks with both of the colors once it's done, but we'll see. I have so many plans for this yarn, and I'm hoping that this cardigan doesn't take every little bit of it, but if it won't mind. And if it does, that's totally okay, because I really want to make sure that it is long and oversized and the sleeves are cozy. I don't want to, you know, be skimping around at all with this project. So really, really excited to begin. I haven't actually purchased the pattern quite yet. I'm going to be doing that, you know, this afternoon or tomorrow morning, whatever. And I'm going to point it out. I know I'm going to be knitting the smallest size that's in the pattern. And I need to do a gauge swatch. She calls for a US 4. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to want to go up to a 6. Just because I think I'm going to like that gauge a little bit more. I don't want it to be too tight. I want it to be really drapey. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'll talk about that next week once I've actually started it. I do have the first skeins all caked up and ready to go. I decided to do them separately. Like usually if I'm going to be using 2 yarns for a project, I like to cake them up in one ball so that, you know, it kind of feels like I'm knitting from one skein even though I'm not. But for this, I have heard, I don't know how accurate it is because I have not looked into this at all myself, so don't quote me on it. But I vaguely remember Chelsea from the Legacy 5 Arts podcast, or Chelsea Makes. I vaguely remember her talking about how she had wound a mohair yarn and a merino yarn together, and it ended up going so horribly. Now, I don't know exactly, like, I watched that podcast so long ago. It isn't their most recent episode. And I think it was when she was knitting her No Frills sweater, I think is right. I honestly don't remember completely, so don't quote me on it, but I think that it just wouldn't have been a very good idea, and so I'm really glad that I decided not to do that. I think one thing that I can see already happening if I had done that would be that this base is pretty squishy. Like you can kind of stretch it a little bit, whereas this merino, or this mohair, excuse me, is not like that. Like there's not really any give. So, I mean, this is not elastic or anything, but it just has a little bit more of a bounce factor than this does, and I think that would have caused some slack with one of the yarns. I don't know. All of that being said, I caked them separately. I think it was a wise decision, and I'm so stoked to get started on this cardigan. I can't believe I'm actually about to make it with this beautiful yarn. I'm so excited about it. So I have quite a few things in the works, but I'm really looking forward to be able to spend some time just relaxing and working on this cardigan, because I definitely think it's going to be that type of project. I have definitely considered kind of carrying Make 30 for 30 into February and spending it working on this cardigan, and that might be something that I do. I'm just going to kind of try to play it by ear. I am definitely still settling into a routine with school and business stuff. It's been a lot, honestly. So I'm kind of trying to, you know, balance my time in the ways that it needs to be spent and just be careful of, I guess, how I spend my time, and make sure, you know, I'm devoting as much time as I need to school to keep my grades where they need to be, but then also that everything for the business gets done as well. So priorities and responsibilities have to come first, but exciting projects like this definitely keep me going and motivated, so I am definitely planning on putting the time into it that I can. So that is all I have for that project. Talked for like 8 minutes about it, so I I hope you weren't bored to death or anything. I got a bunch of comments about it last week, so I know y'all wanted to hear some details. And I'm going to take you along every single week. You can see my progress. And I'm just super excited to be beginning this project. I think it's going to be so fun to work on it kind of during the Valentine's Day season with this pink yarn. You're going to be seeing a lot of pink this month. I'm not one, like, we do not really celebrate Valentine's Day. We used to do like a couple of little mini things, but those have kind of faded off as we've gotten older. I'm single, so you know, it's just kind of a weird time, I guess, but I have some fun things planned crochet-wise, so my feed is going to be very much pink and Valentine's and super fun and things like that, but yeah, anyway, really excited for this project, and I'm very much eager to get started on it tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I hope to have some progress to share next week on that. Alrighty, so that is the only work in progress that I have to talk about, and it isn't really even a work in progress because I haven't started it yet, but I've been thinking about it, which does kind of count, I think. But now I wanted to talk about a couple of designs because I have been designing up a storm, and so much of my knitting time has been into that, and I have two things that I want to share with you guys, so let's go ahead and jump into that. So the first design that I am working on is the fingering weight version of the Best Dude beanie. I shared this with y'all last week, and it is a birthday present for my grandpa, or we call him Papa. And his birthday was Monday, like more than a week ago now that you're seeing this. And I just could not get it done. I mean, I've tried so hard, but I had school that day and I had to go to a class, and it just took up a lot of time, and I did not quite get it done, which was super disappointing. But he's going to love it as soon as I give it to him. I know he is, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm making steady progress. I'm almost done. I just have a couple more inches, and then I'll do the decreases, and then it'll be finished. But, oh man, this colorway is just absolutely beautiful. It is an endless sea of 2x2 bib right now. But I absolutely love it. I really love working on this. I'm using Knit Picks Hawthorne Tonal, and I believe this colorway is Grant's Pass. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's right, and I'm going to link it down below, of course. And yeah, really, really love the way that this is turning out. It's, of course, designed to have a folded brim, so that's why it is so long, and I'm using size 1.5 needles, I think, for this. Oh, does it not say? Nope, these needles don't have the size. That's annoying. Is the millimeter size is 1.5. I don't know. I know now. It is size 1.5 needles, 2.5 millimeter. That I think is correct. Anyway, the small sizes, it took me years and years to actually even start using the very small size needles, and so I only just jumped into them like last year in 2020, and so I am definitely still, you know, kind of memorizing the millimeter and numerical kind of number that correlates because I keep getting confused. But anyway, pretty sure that's right. Really love this beanie so far. I'm so excited to have it done soon, and it is so squishy. I think he's gonna love it. I really, really do, and that makes me so, so happy. It also has this charm from Yo & Co. It is chocolate cake. My papa absolutely loves chocolate, and so I had to do that for him, of course. We made him some, well, I didn't. My mom and sister made some chocolate cookies for him when I was gone to class on his birthday. And then we went and visited outside very safely. Anyway, he has had cancer in the past, and so we have been very careful to ensure that he does not get COVID. But anyway, so they made him some chocolate cookies, and his face opening those was absolutely hilarious. It made my day. It was just so fun. He was super excited about those cookies, and I had one, and they were so good, and I am hoping my mom makes them again because I would love to eat one. Anyway, so I do have one other design that I wanted to chat about, and that is releasing tomorrow. So as you're seeing this, these are coming out this week. I am so stoked. I have been dreaming up this design for quite a while now. I've been working on the chart, and it's been a long time coming, but I am so excited about it. And yeah, so these are a pair of leg warmers. I haven't quite decided on the name yet, and I also don't want to give too much away because I want it to be a surprise. But I am so happy with how these turned out, and I just love everything about them. I love the hearts. I love the fact that they're leg warmers. It's going to be my first leg warmer pattern. And yeah, I'm really excited about those. So that is all I'm going to say about that pattern. You're going to see another video launching on my channel tomorrow all about those. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty, that is it for design talk and all of the lots of knitting and crochet content. Oh my goodness, it's been a jam-packed episode. Now let's go ahead and talk about a little devotional. Alrighty, so I'm going to be perfectly honest about this little devotional today. It has been a pretty rough week. I had a car issue that has to be resolved. School is really difficult, really intense, and it is, it's a really good season to be in, the season of young adulthood and going to college and going to classes. But it's also a really difficult season, and it's kind of been a little bit hard to accept that, like to be grateful for everything the Lord has put in my life, but at the same time be struggling, honestly, to get everything done and meet all these deadlines and submit the correct assignments. Yes, I now have that story to tell too. Anyway, it's just been a lot, but there's one verse that I came across and I think it is so beautiful, and it is Proverbs 23:8. It says, "Surely there is a future and your hope will not be cut off." Now that is kind of one of those verses that can be a little bit discouraging the first time you read it, just because it seems very raw. Like, it's telling you, yeah, right now it's discouraging and it's difficult, but hope is not lost. And that's what's so important to remember, because even though, I'm in a season right now that is not easy and that is challenging in many ways, it's also such a beautiful season, and it's a season that is already filled with so much growth, both spiritually and, educationally in a way. Accounting is not an easy profession to be diving into, especially when, you're surrounded by people who are confident in it, and I love that I am, because it helps, my confidence grow, but at the same time, it can be very humbling, and to realize that I do not have all the answers, and I do not know all of this content, and it's really important to always remember that, I am the student, and that's kind of how we are with God too. Like, we are His followers, and we are called to follow Him and lead a life that pleases Him, but we are not God. We are below Him. We are humans. We are so much below God. But there's so much beauty in that, and we have so much to learn just from, reading the Bible and following Him, and knowing that hope is not lost just because you're in a hard season. So I always mean that to be encouraging and inspiring, and that's what all of these little devotionals at the end of my podcast are always meant to be. And I love hearing your comments and feedback. It makes my week and means so much. So I love that you take the time to do that. But yeah, it was a rough week last week, but I'm looking forward to a new start, a new week, a new chance in some ways, a new week to improve and to wrap my head around certain classes that are just proving to be very difficult when I feel like they shouldn't have to be. But anyway, going to college in the midst of a pandemic is a lot, just simply because it's not how the college was originally designed, right? I mean, you're meant to have your classes in person and to meet new people and make peers and make friends, and really, we don't really know anybody, and it's hard to get to know somebody when you're wearing masks and have to say, a certain distance away, and it's just difficult. But it's already been full of so much growth, and I have so many more ways that I need to grow in the future and over this next year and a half. I am attending community college, so it's only 2 years, and of course we'll have some big decisions to make after those 2 years are over, but really grateful for this season, even if it is a little bit difficult. So with that, I wanted to jump into a little bit of a life update, even though I kind of completely combined the two. It has been a rough week, but before I sign off and let you guys, leave this channel that has been a little bit all over the place today, I wanted to thank each and every one of you who have encouraged me in my crochet pattern submissions. So if you're new around here, first of all, welcome. But secondly, I submitted a few pattern proposals to crochet a couple of weeks ago now. And I am just in the season of waiting now. And I'm going to let you guys know, of course, I'm hoping that it's good news and that I don't have to share bad news, because I really don't want to share bad news. But at the same time, thank you so very much to everyone who has inspired me and encouraged me and just kind of lifted me up to continue this journey. It means so much, and seeing your comments truly makes my day. So I am really eager to continue this week and to make it be a little bit better. Now, please note that last week was not bad. It was just difficult, and there were a few things that you have to work through. And I think sometimes, all of us have those weeks. So if you were in the midst of one, or if you had a week like that, I just want to encourage you by saying you're not alone. Everybody has them. I am more than happy to hit you up with any encouragement I possibly can. Just reach out and ask me, because that is definitely something that I always want to provide for you guys. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I am so excited to be releasing a new pattern tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. You'll see a video all about it on my channel, and of course on all of my other social media platforms, because I love to share it with you guys. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can know each and every time I upload a video. Be sure to check out all of the links in the description box, and I will see you all next time. Bye.